Helena's endless criticisms. We fought a lot, but I still loved her, and hoped that we'd eventually grow together instead of continuing down a path to divorce. I don't mean to come across as blameless in my marital problems. I wasn't always attentive, or as responsible as I should be. I also think part of my issues, and I'm being pretty honest and self-reflective here, was a nasty habit of focusing on the past. Analyzing, interpreting, and agonizing over past events, missed opportunities, and wrong decisions. I had found relative success in my life. That's if you define success by viewing one's life as a checklist. Married, check. Gainfully employed, check. Kids, check forthcoming. Despite this, I spent an unnecessary amount of time fixated on the mistakes I had made in the past and the good times I had experienced but had not fully appreciated. I heard once that someone said, "Youth is wasted on the young." I would be hard-pressed to disagree. Helena knew this, at least to some extent, and I know it irritated her. There was something unspoken about it. I guess she wanted me to be so happy with how my life had worked out that I could say I wouldn't change a thing. I tried to keep my woes to myself, and I certainly didn't tell her about the girls of my past, who wandered through my thoughts when things between Helena and me reached particular lows. What baffles me even today is how I thought I could do anything about any of what had come before by dwelling so hard on those bygone days. Time, I had always believed, is a river that flows in one direction. Our perception of the speed varies, of course. Who hasn't heard old people reflect on how fast the years are rushing by? Who hasn't been stuck in a classroom as a child, watching the clock tick away the painfully long seconds? Yet the direction is supposed to be constant. Here today, gone tomorrow. Can't go back, can't go home again. I think you could fill a book of cliches based on the one-way flow of time. I guess, if I really think about it, the past filled me with an excitement that was missing from my daily life in the present. My memory of those long-lost days, even the bad parts, was filled with a rose-colored happiness that any marriage would be hard-pressed to match, and it inspired emotion in me that I couldn't get any other way. In that way, the past became like a drug, an addiction that I would feed every day by dwelling and reminiscing. I thought about my childhood as a bright, shy young boy. I thought about my transition to an awkward, withdrawn teenager, my attention caught by a series of unrequited obsessions. I thought about my journey to adulthood and finally discovering my confidence in myself and my ability to speak to women with a dry, comfortable sarcasm. In all these things, there were good times and bad times, successes and failures. In that way, I doubt I was very different from most people. Truthfully, I don't suspect that my unhealthy focus on the past was such a unique thing. What made me unique? Well, it started with that lightning-fast journey while my wife went for popcorn. That was the beginning. 2. After I made that first trip through time, I thought I might be coming down with a cold. It was the only way I could make sense of the brief period of disorientation and pressure. My wife wasn't too understanding. As she told me once, "I don't have the patience or sympathy for all your little aches and pains." "What is it this time?" she asked. "I just feel off," I said. She sighed, exasperated. "Why don't you go upstairs and rest?" I did as she suggested. First I took a shower. As the hot water poured over me, not too hot, I'm kind of a baby about that, a funny thing happened. You know how you can wake up in the morning and think you didn't remember anything you dreamt the night before? And then later, suddenly, a flash of imagery emerges from the recesses of your brain to remind you that, in fact, you had dreamt something after all? Well, I know that happens to me quite often. It happened then, or at least I thought that was what was happening. What I saw in that moment was the wall of my family room, the same wall I had been staring at for hours while Helena and I watched television. Except it was different. The television I saw in that flash of memory was old. One of those models that had been old even when I was a kid, with all the controls on the panel next to the screen and no remote.